But Pat McAfee, man, and James Franklin called for Nick Saban to be the commissioner of college football. And there's actual video here. Go ahead and show it, baby.
James, congratulations on a great win. And I just wanted to ask, is this one step put you one step closer to being the commissioner of college football?
Coach, you can keep trying to avoid this all you want. And I know ESPN and those guys don't want to lose you, but I just think your impact on college football and your global understanding of what we need is important. And right now, no one's running it. So right now, I'm going with you. If you tell me to stop, I'll start pushing Chris Peterson.
Love it. I love it, man. What's y'all thoughts on that, man?
So I'm kind of torn because in a lot of ways, I think Saban would be great as the commissioner of the NCAA. But then knowing all of the top 25 head coaches that I know over the course of the last 20 years, Boise State and them kind of schools never get in the college football playoff again if one of them was the commissioner. Like, they believe. So if you think it was an SEC bias without a Saban being the chair, oh, man, if Saban was the chair, South Carolina, Alabama, Ole Miss, all of them would have been in the 12. Trust me.
I don't necessarily think you have to have a legend do it. I think it needs to be someone that just knows the game, that's a leader of men, and that can get people to buy into what they're saying. I don't know if it has to be Nick Saban or some legendary guy. I just think it needs to be a guy that understands every aspect of it and that people that will actually respect because they can actually walk in the room and demand respect. It doesn't have to be Saban, to your point, but I think he's the guy that they're going to say because of, he's just chilling right now and they see him as on ESPN as just passing time. Because that's what I think they look at it as. That's why they're saying it, in my opinion. I don't know. But James Franklin doesn't even deserve to be in this playoff. I think it's an absolute joke how they are in the Final Four. But that's how we start.
On that? I'm sorry, but it's a shift gears here. But Shaun wasn't on here earlier. What's your thoughts on that? So we got the Final Four now, and I don't know if you watched the show. JB and I got in a long debate the first hour of the show, back and forth, about who deserves to be here, this, that, and the third. What's your thoughts on this? And shout out to Mike Bundy for the C-Note. C-Note Fridays is back.
And he talking that real. Talking about keep preaching, big dog. I know. Hey, here's the part where I feel like
give him context. Give him the context why, though. I said
Okay, so here's the context I have with Penn State. And here's where I think a Saban would be extremely valuable. There's no way that Nick Saban, after the conference title games, go back to the conference title games, after Oregon beat Penn State to win the Big Ten, there's no way that Saban would have gave Penn State an SMU Boise State path to the semifinals and gave Oregon Ohio State in the second round.
And I agree with you on that. And I agree with you on that. On that one point, I agree with you on that.
Like, Penn State is there because of scheduling.
Exactly. That's my point. That's why it's not – if they make it to the Natty is my whole point of this thing. Yeah. It ain't nothing else. If they make it to the Natty, it will be a huge, huge disaster for college football and this committee. And the worst of the worst is about to happen because the worst thing that committee could ask for is about to happen. And if Penn State are to make it, I'm just telling you, and they play Ohio State again and get waxed, this is a horrific 12-team format that's going to be looked back as a joke because Penn State is clearly not a top 4 team in the country, Shaun.
Yeah, they're not.
And they should never have been there.
How they stand. What if Notre Dame wins then?
Say it again.
Speaking hypotheticals,
I think Notre Dame earned it. I mean, a one-loss Indiana team beat Georgia.
Smitty, I started the show off. I said the College Football Committee is hoping and wishing that Notre Dame plays in the final against.
Penn State is as bad as y'all saying, then Penn State will lose then.
No,
but if Penn State beats Notre Dame,
that doesn't make the point, Smitty. They shouldn't be in the Final Four. What don't you understand? This is not the best Final Four teams, homie. I don't get how you grasp that.
I'm just saying,
They shouldn't be here.
This will be their third game, and this is the first losable game I think they've played.
By far. And they didn't get a
My only argument, Smitty, is how in the hell did Oregon beat Penn State in the Big Ten championship and then get completely hosed with the seeding?
No, I'm listening.
That's my only argument.
Oregon had they had a tough. I agree with that. But also, though, devil's advocate, you number one team in the country. You right. You should have to go that path. I get it. We've already exhausted that. Boom. But it is what it is. You got Ohio State. You're number one team in the country. You already beat them. What they put out there on that field the other day was horrible. They got the ass beat.
Why do you keep going back to Oregon, homie? Why are we talking about
like
Oregon?
Was the top four, best part of that performance. I don't know if that's
No.
top 14.
Why are you talking about Oregon? This is not an Oregon discussion. We're talking about Penn State does not belong in the Final Four. They're not a top 4 team, which makes the fucking 12-team playoff undesirable, not legitimate. It's not legit, homie. We don't know because you gave 4 teams buys, Smitty, who all lost. Why did the 4 teams of buys lose? Make it make sense. Why did the 4 teams of buys lose? Why were the Las Vegas spreads so crazy, to Shaun's point earlier last month? Why were the spreads so crazy? Why were the higher-ranked teams in this tournament underdogs? Come on, homie. This is not a great format. No, Stevie Wonder could see it.
I'm with you on a lot of that, JB. Like, we're not
arguing on top 4 team, Smitty. Penn State didn't beat anybody in the top 10. They didn't beat anybody in their own title game in the conference. They lost to Ohio State bad. They lose to Oregon in the title game of their conference. Oregon subsequently beat both of those teams and is the only team to beat 3 teams in the tournament of 12. And they draw Ohio State 1 after not playing 0 games. It's the stupidest thing ever, homie. If you're going to make it a tournament, like any tournament in the world's formats in the history of tournaments, then you seed them 1 through whatever.
I agree with that.
Smitty, I'm saying my whole point is this: Penn State's not a top 4 team. They have gotten here by design, not because of the play on the field. They got to play an SMU team who shouldn't have been in. I don't care what anyone says. Indiana should not have been in. And Boise, to me, should not have been in.
That's my opinion. Notre Dame beat Indiana.
No, I know. I'm just telling you the team that shouldn't have been in.
Yeah.
The team that shouldn't have been in is my whole thing. So that's all I'm saying.
Again, I'm glad I'm here to help my friend JB. See, you don't always got to jump fully in the water. JB, sometimes you can just go from the front of the yacht to the back of the yacht. And I think the college football playoff, the 12-team version, has brought an increased level of excitement, but it does need to be tweaked.
Yeah.
So I don't think in and of itself is like, let's tear it down and watch the ashes blow in the wind. But one thing we did learn was they need to reseed the 12 after the conference tournaments. Don't go automatic conference champs into the bye week. Kind of thing.
Yep, I agree with that.
And then they need to make it so that the number 1 team doesn't get the hardest path to a damn championship. Now, if we're being honest, if Ohio State figured out how to win this thing, they were by far the best team in the country because they didn't have Murder's Row.
And Shaun, to that point, my point what I was trying to make earlier is that the reason why I'm a fan of the 12-team playoffs is because a team like Ohio State, let's use exactly what happened this year, right? Let's say it was still the 14 playoff.
They wouldn't have got in.
They wouldn't have got in. So we would have missed out on arguably the best team in college football on missing the playoff because they had a blunder at the end of the season, which is why I'm a.
They put every team in, homie. They put every fucking team in. They put 64 teams in there, homie.
They wouldn't have got in, Shaun. Probably not.
64 teams in there.
Ohio State.
Let everybody play. Let everybody play then. Let everybody play.
Title game, Shaun, is going to
makes no sense. That makes no. That's so fucking weak of a take. That's such a soft ass take. Let everybody in, homie. Let everybody in. Fuck it. Like that's the weakest take ever, homie. Last year you bitched over. You not getting in. Florida State not getting in. Georgia not getting in.
JB, I'll see you later, and I'll keep you again on Monday.